in Northcliffe once again. And tonight we have a breaking news story, one that if you follow social media and the Twitterverse, you're probably well aware of this already. Let me go ahead and get here where I can see the chat. Give me a second here. Just want to make sure I do that because I didn't set that up. I'm literally just running out of time. I was trying to put something up before the stream, and it took a very long time for that to happen. Let me just get here very quickly. I want to go to YouTube. Sorry about that. I'm not quite on screen. Thank you for being here. Yeah, we're going to talk about the government national unity, but we have some breaking news about Ronaldo H first that we want to talk about here. And it's taking a while for this thing to connect. Come on, YouTube. There we go. All right, so give me a moment here. Oh my goodness. Am I on the right connection here? I'm on the right one. Just not very fast tonight. So sorry about that. Yeah, we've got some breaking news on that. Give me a second here. I didn't want to be late for the start of the program, so just be patient. Thank you to the 44 people here at the start of the program. Really grateful for that. I'll try to get rid of these glasses in a second, but I will need them to read in a few moments. So I need to actually send something to somebody. Shareable link. Got it. Okay, live. Give me a second here. There we go. All right, almost there. Okay, boy, that thing is unbelievably slow. It's like I'm in a time zone here, a time warp, time dilation field. Wow, it still hasn't loaded the darn thing. That's crazy. My computer is really a piece of crap. I'm telling you what, this laptop needs to go. So, the breaking news, wow, I keep working overtime over here, the hard drive, and nothing's happening. So, who we got in the chat really quickly here? We got Ernst, Salem's Cave, Evening from Radberg says Moonbase, excuse me. Tanya DeBeer, haven't seen you in a while. Debbie Moray. Well, Debbie, I've seen you recently. How's it going? Wow, this thing is still spinning like ridiculous. Unbelievable. So, anyway, a petition has been established to urge the South African Parliament to reconsider the membership of Democratic Alliance Councillor Ronaldo H following resurfacing of videos created in 2009 and 2008, showing racially charged comments by H, who's now a DA member of Parliament. Now, first off, IOL needs to be very careful here because they're opening themselves up to a lawsuit for slander. Well, for libel, actually. This is in print. This is libel. There is no racist tinge. That is their opinion, and that is not a fact. And they need to be very careful here because they're libeling the reputation of a member of Parliament, and this could lead to a very serious lawsuit by the IOL. I noticed that News 24 hasn't carried this bogus story so far. But even Herman Mashaba, shame on you, Herman, actually retweeted some garbage today by some black supremacist racist who posted something on Twitter claiming that Ronaldo is a racist. And all they did was show photographs of him. They showed his parliamentary badge. They stole content from his Twitter page. And then they resurfaced the video from like 15 years ago in which he stated that black South Africans suffered and were beaten and killed during the apartheid era. And he said now it's happening to white South Africans. And so that's not racist. That's simply a statement of fact. But, you know, any time that you stand up for a minority in this country, you're painted as a racist. So this is just garbage. It's distraction, just like MK's threats to public order yesterday. It's all garbage and nonsense. Let me see if my browser has finally decided to play nice. Okay, are we there yet? All right, it is playing nice now. Cool. So I do have the chat. Good, I can see the chat here. So let me just get back and welcome everybody. Looking back. Rose Wheeler saw that petition to Parliament moved over racist. What a load of rubbish. Exactly, he's not a racist, but the racists are the ones charged. Now let me tell you what. Are you surprised by this? I knew that these racist white liberals and black supremacists had this already in the bucket. They already had this plan. They put it all together before things happened. You notice none of these racists asked for the move of Julius Malema and his racially charged comments, or the leader of Al Jamaa, whose racial comments during his presentation when the president was being inaugurated, or not inaugurated, when he was voted on. No comment about his racism. No comment about the other racism by some other people in their comments. That's protected speech, apparently. You can be a racist against minority whites, but the moment that you actually ask the question about racism in the country, you're labeled a racist. This is absolute garbage, absolute garbage. There's no merit to it whatsoever, but it will waste a lot of time, and it will be a distraction for this new government. But that's what it's meant to be. That's what these people want. You see, the powers that be, or people who think they're the powers that be in South Africa, just like the demon rats and the rhinos in America, want you to suffer. They want you divided. Ronaldo's not a racist. He's left the political center. The guy bends out of his way to help people of color. It's absolutely ridiculous. I mean, this is just freaking garbage. It's nauseating and it's sickening. And I'm so tired of it. It's this stuff just needs to end. And hopefully the attacks on Ronaldo will be taken to court. They will sue these people for their slander and libel. Yeah. So Vanna Kruger, they want to call that racism. MK can incite violence. Yeah, exactly. Saying there's no liberation. Yeah, exactly. Dylan Combrick, Val Cooper, Pierre Orban, George Steinberg from Heckport, Harley Quinn, Laudine Monday, Salem's Cave, Laura Silson, welcome from Durban North. I was just there. Teresa says, good evening. Welcome to you. BJ Switch, Nanda from Bloemfontein. Well, good evening to you. Brian Lauritsen says, let's hear the latest on this crapshoot. Yep. I'm hitting the like button, says Salem's Cable. Thank you so much for that. Tanya DeBeer, good to see you again. Reddick, back again. Wow, good to see you again. Gavin Grant, Twitter isn't being kind to Ronaldo today. Very unfortunate. No, very racist is what it is. Very much racist. Ursula Olafsa, what a load of rubbish. Ronaldo's not a racist. No, shut up, IOL. Exactly. IOL is needs to be tread on very serious water. They have opened themselves up to a libel lawsuit. They think they're treading the water carefully, but what they put on there is, in fact, libel. They have no evidence of it whatsoever. They're not reporting as if someone else said it. They're reporting as if it's fact, and that is just very dangerous ground to tread on. So, what else you got here? Debbie already said. Boyd Bohr, Alpha Traciness, good evening to you. Okay. Brian Lawrenson, Marilyn Brokenshaw. Hey, Marilyn. Patrick. I see Helen Godzilla said today, for now, DA will not support no motion of confidence above. Yes, I'm going to talk about that. Agree, cut the non-payers electricity off. This story about Jose makes my blood boil. Good evening, Neil. Werner says, also, if the DA would ask Ronaldo to step down, it's to save the country, not that I think he should. He would do it in a heartbeat. Yep, Robert Rankin and Patrick Vianello. Yeah, no, Ronaldo would do it. And that's because he loves the country and loves the people in the country. I mean, this is the same guy who raised money for the petrol station attendant in his local community, who did his job faithfully day in and day out. And Ronaldo raised several thousand rand and just gifted it to him. Just gifted him. Because he's a good guy. Oh, did I mention that he happens to be black? Yeah, didn't mention that, did we? Yeah. No, it's just garbage. This is the last resort of racists and failures, people who are actually failures in their life. People who can think cogently and string two sentences together don't put out this garbage. You know, this is utter nonsense. You can't support it. It's like the garbage that was said about me that caused all kinds of problems a few months back. It's just, there's nothing to it. The morons, anything. They can say whatever they want. They can call for the murder of minorities. They can call for the slaughter of people. They can threaten the government. They can demand that people take the Sputnik and the China jab, or that they will burn the country down, EFF. And no action is taken against them. But they can dig up a video from 15 years ago in which racist remarks were not said and hoodwink idiotic, stupid people. And I got to tell you something, folks. Look, Herbert Mashaba, wow, if this is the depth of your intellectual capacity as the leader of the Action SA, that's very disappointing. Very disappointing. I cannot believe that Action SA actually retweeted this garbage. I mean, you were part of the multi-party charter, and because you only got 1.6% of the vote, this is how you're going to behave. You know, I was going to hopefully interview Herman Mashaba and talk about his focus on the municipal elections for the next time around, but I mean, this is very disappointing to see this. I mean, to be part of this crowd, it's a very unthoughtful, idiotic comment. You just respond to it. And ladies and gentlemen, that's the problem with politics today, the world over. It really is. I mean, for instance, the morons who bought the garbage in my political race when an opponent had their volunteers lie to people knocking the door, lying and telling people that I was pro-abortion. They actually told people that. Anybody that knows me, even for 5 minutes, and watch any of my content knows that's simply not true. But one voter after another walked out of the polling station, one of the polling stations in my election, and said they voted for the Christian because I was pro-abortion. Yeah. Now, the evil, underhanded garbage that happens in politics, and this is what's going on here. So they're distracting from their failures, trying to get to Ronaldo. These people have an erection over their hatred for Ronaldo. Why? Ronaldo's a political leftist. I mean, I don't get what their problem is. He's in the same boat they're in. It's just he's not a lunatic like they are. He's a political leftist. He's not a conservative. Not at all. So it's just, you know, the left eats its own, and that's what's going on here. So, yep. Hey, Sedgefield. What did Debbie say? Okay. PK, does it really matter? I'm tired of the race baiting. It does matter, PK, because the cowards in the Democratic Alliance could very well bow under the pressure and tell Ronaldo to resign, and he would do it. Yep. Yeah. And if they do this, I'll tell you what, this might be the bridge in which the Democratic Alliance survives or dies. If the Democratic Alliance falls for this race-baiting, garbage racism of political leftists attacking Ronaldo H over a non-racial statement, then the Democratic Alliance is finished. I don't care that they're part of this coalition or government of national unity. They are absolutely finished. If they pull this crap, they're absolutely finished. Absolutely finished. I guarantee you, the death knell of the Democratic Alliance is if they fall for this garbage. Yep. Now, why is this happening now? This is happening now. I'll tell you why it happened today. Because Ramaphosa has not announced his cabinet yet. So this is meant to put pressure on Ramaphosa to tell the DA that if they want their cabinet positions, they're going to have to make Ronaldo go. That's what's happening here. This is the power of self-loathing failures in this society and in my society who attack others who accomplish things. It's unbelievable. The world is upside down. It should be a world based on merit and drive and accomplishment, dedication, loyalty, faith, and excellence. But instead, it's a world based on skin pigmentation and racial hatred by the elites and the little hate wankers who sit out in public and attack people. This is beyond the pale garbage. But you know what's coming, folks. I'm surprised it took this long. I thought they would do it once they found out Ronaldo's on the list. This whole thing was planned all along, no doubt. And I'm sure they have more ammunition. And I'm sure they'll go after other DA members of parliament for things that they've said in the press and fictitiously make up that they're racist. The biggest irony is Ronaldo's a liberal leftist. It's crazy. Exactly, Charles. No, but that's because leftists eat their young. There's a goal here. And the goal here is to put pressure so the DA loses ministerial post. Paul Storm says, as Dan Bongino said, you cannot run from this fight. They'll come knocking your door. Exactly. Exactly. I see what they've done in there, and it makes angry. I just want the politicians to stop asking for our money in our lives when they're doing nothing. Yep. What are they actually distracting us from this crap? You're so right, Chris. Delaying and baiting a poor victim with fictitious lies. They want to put pressure on Ramaphosa to get rid of him because they hate him. The same thing about that self-loathing, masturbating clown who attacked Steve Hofmeyer and then attacked me. He committed libel. It's lucky I didn't take the time to sue his ass because he'd be bankrupt right now. He committed libel. Simple as that. Publishing lies in print. So Levin says, it's because Ronaldo does things like fill potholes, unlike our ANC counselors nowhere to find. Exactly. Ronaldo's out filling. So folks, I come to Port Elizabeth, to Nelson Mandela Bay, to Rhodesia. By the way, where are you at tonight, Ndonga? I said Rhodesia, and that's how it is pronounced. So I went there, and the DA in that ward are filling potholes. That's what they're doing, out filling potholes. That's not the job of a member of government. That's a job of the government. Municipal services, if they don't have the beans, then it's a job of a contractor who gets hired. But that isn't what happens in South Africa. Local councillors from opposition parties, or in this case, the DA, out filling potholes. That's just crazy. That's what he was doing. The man had been elected to parliament and is leaving the town in 2 days, and he's out there filling potholes. Yet these scumbag, self-loathing, masturbating, racist, and race hustlers are attacking Ronaldo. And they're being joined by some big names, one of which was Herman Mashaba. What a disappointment that was. They cut Ronaldo from this crap. I'll never vote DA again. This is ludicrous. ANC is effectively siding on DA candidates. Exactly. That's what's happening. What's Ronaldo say about this? Alan, I sent him a note earlier about the Herman Mashaba thing. He didn't have much to say about it. He did respond. Ronaldo did respond to me. I'm not going to try to pry at this moment and dig into this. This is something for the Democratic Alliance to deal with and for the lawyers to go after the people who are committing the libel. That's what they should be doing. The Democratic Alliance's party lawyers should be now filing lawsuits against the scumbag, self-loathing, racist hate wankers on Twitter and considering a lawsuit of libel against the Independent Online. That's what they should be doing at this hour. The result was known before the vote was cast. This was worked, and the suckers fell for it. I don't know what Brian's saying. What else we got here? The DA agree with ANC policies they've been fighting. Then we'll not vote for the DA again. Hey, Drunken Yoda, how's it going? All right, thanks for the uptick there. Appreciate it. I need to send something very quickly here, folks. Why is this not working? Okay, I need to send a message to Sandra Hunt. Are you here? Miss Hunt, if you're here, say hello in the chat. I have recorded the video of your children's book, and I think it's pretty good. It's not... Oh, what happened to my laptop? It just went blank. Wow. I think it just rebooted or something. My laptop just died. What the hell? Oh, I'm so sick of this laptop. Unbelievable. That's why they haven't voted for the past 10 years. What? Why, though, if they sue Twitter? No, PK. You can't sue Twitter. You sue the people who did it. You sue the people who did it. Not Twitter. Suing Twitter is pointless. You file a criminal injuria case against the people who committed the libel online in South Africa. That's what they should do. Okay, my browser's just hung up here. Wow, I think one collapsed and the other one's just frozen. Well, this may take a while. I am so sick of this laptop. I've said that this whole trip. I think I'm going to throw this thing in a river. Somebody said, give it to me if you're going to throw it in a river. Well, I don't think you want it. Trust me. 89% of my memory is currently in use and 100% of my disk. So I can't get anything done. Let me try to close a couple programs here and see if I can go somewhere. Well, that ain't working. I can't close the program. Anyway, that's frustrating. So, never vote for a leftist party. Yeah, well, there you go, George. That's the answer. Never vote for leftists. But you have very few options in South Africa. The only parties center or right of center are the ACDP and the Freedom Front Plus for the most part. And there is one right of center party that's right wing, extreme right wing. That's the Patriotic Alliance. But I don't think most people want to vote for them. So, wow. Okay. Close window. Okay, see if that helps. Now my memory's down to 38%, but my hard disk is still at 100%. YouTube, not YouTube, but Windows just sucks. But so does Apple. If the DA fires Ronaldo or make him resign over this BS, I'm done. They'll be lose Thule supporters, if not more. I will tell everyone I know not to vote for DA. Leave Ronaldo alone. Exactly. Also, the IOL is factually incorrect. They say he has 107,000 subscribers. No, he has 127. Oh, geez, Firefox crashed. Okay, restart Firefox. Let's see if that works. That might take a half hour. All right, let's see what happens now. You have to restart Firefox. Excuse me, I've got company and the door's locked. So I have to get up. I wasn't expecting company.
Sorry to interrupt you, but I just thought you'd add this to your... Him and Michelle were trying to form an alliance with the EFF.
Okay. Where's this from?
I've just Googled it. When he was the mayor of Joburg.
Oh yeah, people have been talking about that for a while. Yeah. No, I got that.
Sorry.
That's okay. I don't have lock case in my computer things. Sorry about that, folks. I'm back, and my browser still isn't running yet. So sorry about that. And did I lose everything? No. Okay, waiting for this thing to load. Wow. Yeah. Tell her we can hear her. Yes, Light Rain. She knows you can hear her. She was off camera. Hey, Hendo. I'm honestly getting way too tired to deal with this country. Reddick, I hear you. I'm tired. And that's, ladies and gentlemen, don't fall for it. That's what this is all about. This is meant to divide South Africans. Today, we were at Monte Casino, and I had a meet and greet. It was a lekker meet and greet. Thanks to everybody who came to the meet and greet. It was a grand old time. Let's see, we had Debbie was there, Colin was there. We had Leovin and Gert. We had Chris Marie. We had Ross. Did I miss anybody? I think there was someone else. And then I missed somebody. And then there was also, I ran into two different Yakos who I don't know, who I met when I was there at Seattle Coffee. It was lekker. But I noticed something because I'm always watching people. I'm always paying attention to what's going on around me. For the most part, as an old CI guy, I kind of keep track of what's going on. And I noticed something. And I pointed it out to Ross and to Lev. I said, you see that right there? You see that young girl? She's colored. The boy with her is white Afrikaner. She's smit with him. You should see her eyes. She clearly likes him. They're together. They left. A few moments later, here comes another couple walking down there. A white man with a black wife and 4 mixed-race children. Then I see an Indian and a white coming the other way. Yeah, I just within the span of just a couple of minutes, just, anecdotally looking at this. This racist garbage is not something for South Africans. It's for shameful politicians and populists who seek to divide this country and divide people based on race and color. It's a disgrace. It's an absolute disgrace. But they get away with it. They get away with it because you're media, because you're cowardly politicians. And you know what? They try this crap in America too, and they often get away with it. And my browser is still not recovered here. Wow, this is crazy. Anyway, so my hard drive is still 100%. So I'll have to wait probably 10 minutes for this thing to come back up. But this attack, this slanderous and libelous attack on Ronaldo is something that the Democratic Alliance should get their loyals involved in right away. By the way, more liberation was happening today in South Africa, folks. I saw more liberation taking place. Did you know that? Just so you know, I can let you know that today, Tawny Pat was liberated. That's right, in Johannesburg, just in Northcliffe, Tawny Pat got liberated today. And in case you don't believe me, I can prove it. See, she's been liberated. Tawny Pat said, "Stop the suffering," and she got liberated today. Oh, Tawny Pat. So we've liberated Tawny Pat. That's some good news for the good party. Tawny Pat's been liberated. Anyway, yeah, so she has been freed, and my chat's not loading. Wow, this is just crazy. Anyway, so looking like we might be getting somewhere here now. I still need to paste this thing. So Patrick says, I was at the Sassel here in PE with a flat tire. Pertwell China kindly offered to change it. And left a conversation about his social media, no reflection. Yep, okay. All right, well, any day now. Freaking you. So I'll tell you what, this internet's really sucking. By the way, for those who missed this morning, I had a video I did at the Vaal River this morning, in which I talked about the situation in South Africa and how people are suffering. I think some people watched that. Hang on. Where's this thing at? There we go. All right, reply. Okay, so I'm sending Sandy. God bless it. Where's my mouse? Sorry, I just need to send this out so I don't waste the whole evening. I did that children's book for Sandy, and I just need to get her feedback on whether it's okay. Apparently my text is not going to load. Let me try it again over here. I don't know about the rest of you, but I can't see the text on my channel. Pip Yaku, does anyone know about the Pretoria meet and greet? Sadly, I've lived. Well, there isn't one right now, Reddick. There is not a meet and greet in Pretoria because I've been to Pretoria and I'm done in Pretoria. I'm only going back to Pretoria on the day of the URC final. I'll be flying up from Cape Town again, and I'll be going to the final. So there is none. I was going to try to do one at Linwood Bridge, but just didn't work out. We did one today, and we did it halfway. We did it between Joburg, and we did it between Pretoria at the Monte Casino. And we announced it last night, and there we go. Somebody says Chris for president. W.J. Van Wyk, welcome. And so how many posters is that? Can we make cutouts? Sue All says, I hope all are very well. Things are going well. Thank you, Sue. Yako Fun Sale says, hi, Mr. YouTube. One of the Yakos here. Nice meeting you. I'm subscribed now. Aha! That was Yako. That was one of the Yakus. Sorry, you guys say Yaku. You don't say Yako. One of the Yakus I met. That was a pleasure meeting you today as well. And thank you for the tips about the Springboks. I do appreciate that. That is the correct Yaku, right? All right. So, yeah. So that was lovely. So thank you so much for that. I enjoyed it. And sadly, I missed it, but all good. Yeah, sorry about that, Reddick. Sorry. The problem with this trip is that the passport came late, and we've had so many changes because of requests, and it hasn't been a trip that's lined up and locked in as well as I normally do. But it has been quite productive. Thing in reality is hard to find. I've traveled on buses, 99% black, many times. Go many times to Transky, and there's never racism. Crime I've seen, but not racism. Yep. I agree with you, Patrick. All right. So, yeah. So that's kind of where we're at. Let me see if I can get my news items back up. Jacques Vint is here. I missed that. Oh, no. Dividing taxes work. Struggle not to think all the black people are the same. We all pay tax, not just the guys who's registered for tax. That 15. Yeah, no, PK, I got it. You also pay fuel tax. You keep failing to mention that. And I keep telling you that. So, anyway. Yeah, so hang on a second. We're not quite caught up. There we go. Erica retracted her message. Why'd she do that? All right, so again, Ronaldo. So let me read this thing from the IOL. The petition demanding close removal has amassed over 15,000 signatures since its inception on June 16th. Close, known for his outspoken YouTube channel with 128,000 subscribers. Aha, they've corrected it. They've corrected it. This story said 107,000 half an hour ago. Are they watching my channel? Hey, IOL, are you watching this channel? Become subscribers, please. If you're watching, you might as well give me credit for the content you're viewing. Wow, I just said, 10 minutes ago, 15 minutes ago that they got the facts wrong. It's not 107,000. Now they've corrected it. Has come under fire for videos made in 2008, 2009. In these videos, he reacts to Kill the Boer song used by EFF leader Jules Malema and his party. Although Gilles has expressed regret for his colorful language, critics argue that the rhetoric... So he said F. He used the F word. And that's not racist. That's stupid. Kimberly Jones, who started the petition, Kimberly Jones, white liberal leftist, highlighted the need for unity and inclusivity in South Africa. Really? So why are you attacking one of the leftists? His public utterances filled with threats and racially charged comments are directly front to democratic values and harmony of our society, she stated. That's factually wrong, and she should be sued for slander and libel. There's no divisive comment there. There's no racist comment there. There's no affront to your democratic society. Your false attack against Ronaldo is an affront to decency. So the videos in question show Hall's vehement opposition to the Kill the Boer song, which he claims justified his extreme reactions. He said, I do regret using such colorful language back in a 2020 statement to the Herald, but I suppose it was the sheer frustration of having listened to Zuma and Malema singing the song. Rose, at the time, maintained that the videos were edited to portray him in a negative light, which they were. And then the DA national spokesperson said that the views were his own, not from the party. Twitter user Quena Molokwa shared the petition, commenting, help South Africa remove Cape Independent member and racist DA member of Parliament Ronaldo H. Ronaldo's a racist. Okay, that is a criminal injuria, and you've put your name on it, Quena. So you have no evidence that Ronaldo's a racist, and he is not a Cape Independent, you dingbat doorknob. What kind of stupidity are you? Ronaldo has scoffed at the concept of Cape Independence. He has laughed at those who are in Cape Independence. He does not take them seriously and thinks it's a stupid idea. He has said so hundreds, if not thousands of times on his program. He said so when I've talked to him on Wednesdays with Colonel. This is beyond the pale, stupid garbage by moronic losers who've accomplished nothing in their life. It is pretty sad. They're penis envy over Ronaldo's success. That is really shocking, to say the least. This is a country full of sick, twisted leftists who sit around and come up with nothing but ways to harm other South Africans, whether they're black, white, or brown. Sharing the video in question, Rahul S.A. commented, oh, yo, this Ronaldo guy, MP, is a racist on steroids. Really? According to the deranged epitome of vulgarity, apartheid was better. The guy is a cesspool of hate. Cringe warning. No, Ronaldo never said that apartheid was better. That's a lie, and that is, of course, libel once again. People need to stop making comments that are factually untrue and expressing their own views and opinions and inferences, which is what we've seen from trolls on this program for the past couple nights. But I'm not complaining about the trolls. They're just misinformed here. But this is slander and libel. Slander is spoken, libel is written. And these people had better be careful, because somebody with an army of lawyers ought to come after them and destroy them. What's that? Werner said, I'm sorry, I missed that. Let me get back to that. So that was not supposed to be the lead story tonight, but it is now. Warrior Plus, it's not about racism this time around. It's about economic freedom. The young are aspiring, and they will take up arms. They're not going to fill beer halls. I really don't understand your point there. What does that have to do with the story of Ronaldo? But thank you for sharing that. Shadow Seers, I think they will cut ties with not worth the hassle. Well, I'll tell you what, Shadow Seer, if they do it, they're idiots and they're cowards, which I don't put past the Democratic Alliance. I wouldn't be surprised at all to see that be the case. That's a shame. They're going to come after you for calling people names like dingbats. It's a description. Dingbat doorknob. It's a description. Oh, they already come after me. They've already come after me. So, you know, it doesn't matter whether I sit here and say, life is lovely. Handouts are the answer. We should be giving money to more. Take everything from the white people and give it to the black people. Destroy the infrastructure. No one needs to worry about repairing it. Magically repaired. I could say things like that, and I'd still be attacked. Get attacked from the right and left. You know why? Because these people hate the truth. They're afraid of the truth. They're cowards. That's why. So it really doesn't matter, scientists. Okay? Yes, Ronaldo's been called a meat grinder, but you know what's going to happen. Suddenly, Brian has switched over to Afrikaans. It's insane. Zuma can commit sedition and treason. Yep, and basically call for war. But now Ronaldo's a racist. Poof, Kimberly, whenever, whoever. Ronaldo's now more decency, integrity, and his pinky than that person. I don't know what you're writing there. Have all had the. All have had what? I really love your honesty. Well, Cheryl Barneson, thank you so much. Ronaldo's a good man. Yes, he is, James Boy. He is a very good man. And he is a good man to all South Africans. He is just a good guy. I've seen him interact with black South Africans, white South Africans. I really haven't seen him around coloreds, but I presume he treats people the same, so I have no reason to say. But I've many colored folks around when I've hung out and met with Ronaldo, talked to him, interviewed him. But yeah, no, it's just, what are you going to say? What are you going to say? This is the desperation. Notice how IOL isn't running a story about sedition and treason from Jacob Zuma. That's not the lead story. That's also not the lead story on News 24 or Times. In fact, let me tell you what the lead story on all these are after MK threatens to burn South Africa yesterday. And yes, that's what they did. They threatened to burn South Africa. I don't think they're going to do it, but they threatened it yesterday. That is. So the News 24, let me reload here. Please load. Sorry. We may have to take a vacation here. So the lead story on News 24 is Eastern Cape Municipality's water treatment plants found hazardous. And there is no mention here of MK threatening the nation. Not even talked about. It does talk about MK joining the coalition of progressive lunatics. Coalition Nation, MK joined to join EFF and ATM and others in Progressive Caucus. It's regressive. It wants a division of country. It wants racial division. It doesn't want kumbaya or equity for anyone except black supremacy. That is not progressive. That is regressive. And it is extreme right. If you want anything that's extreme right, that's extreme right. So the MK party will join the Progressive Caucus, newly formed parliamentary grouping representing about 13% of the National Assembly. The MK party leader, corruption accused former President Jacob Zuma, well, actually he's convicted criminal Jacob Zuma, made the announcement on Sunday during a media briefing in Santon. Yep, briefing was meant to start at 2, but it was delayed almost 4 hours. Yes, we know, we waited for that. Anyway, they said they're going to join this Progressive Caucus. The Progressive Caucus includes the EFF, the United Democratic Movement. This one, I'm still scratching my head over why. The UDM is not a progressive party, it's a conservative party. It doesn't make any sense. I haven't talked to Badju Holamisa about this. I'm still trying to come to grips with it. Al-Jamaa, well, that's not a surprise. We heard the racist garbage that came out of their speaker, their leader, when he got up and said what he had to say at the president's election. That was sad and pathetic. The African Transformation Movement, United Africans Transformation, and Pan-Africanist Congress of Azania, the PAC. Yeah, so meanwhile, the MK party spokesman Nandela said that they would soon announce the formation of Progressive Patriotic Front to carry out the struggle outside Parliament. What struggle are you carrying out? I'm sorry, what struggle are you carrying out? You have, okay, so let me just talk about a little anecdotal evidence here, folks. Now, I'll get criticized for this, but yeah, many journalists are appalling at their jobs, and especially in South Africa, but not just here, but around the world. I've seen them. They're appalling at their jobs. At the multi-party charter, the conduct of so-called journalists was very bad. Very bad. Whiny, crying, bitching and moaning because they had to sit around and wait. You're a journalist, you wait for the story. You know? Last night, you could say the same to me. I was like, where's Jacob Zuma? But we were promised a start time, and it was delayed, and then we got no explanation. And we had people waiting. Millions of people were waiting. You know, it wasn't a couple dozen people. So the journalists waiting for multi-party charter, that was a couple of us. But I was complaining because my audience was waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting and taking people's time. Taking my time when I'm covering things as a journalist, that's my misfortune. I don't have to do this. I can do something else, and that's my choice. But, you know, when I was at the BRICS convention, that was pretty smoothly run, like a stopwatch. Anyway, yeah, this Progressive Caucus thing, this is just, to what end? What, this whole, the struggle. What struggle? What struggle? The National Party surrendered. They capitulated. There was no victory. You didn't win. You didn't have an army marching in, capturing Pretoria. You didn't accomplish anything. They gave up. They gave up. There was no genuine struggle like there was in Rhodesia, with tens of thousands of people in the bush fighting. No. You used a few bombs to blow up a few pubs and malls and radio towers and attack some infrastructure. And all the rest of the cowards ran off and hid in Angola, and a lot of them were murdered by their own people at Quattro. So this lives what struggle? What struggle? You know. So here's where I'm going to get attacked. So anecdotally, okay, this isn't proof of anything other than this is the reality. 25 years ago, when I would come to South Africa and I'd land at OR Tambo, 80+% of the people at the airport were white. Yeah. When I go to Menlyn, 80%, 90% of people were white. When I go anywhere, in restaurants, upscale places, hotels, when I go to a hotel, 80 to 90% of the guests in a hotel were white. So today, that's completely flipped the other way. And I'm not complaining about that. I'm not moaning about it. But my question is this. When now 80 to 85% of the faces at the airport, in all the hotels, and at the upscale shopping markets are black faces, how much transformation do they want? The complete elimination of minorities from the country? Is that what their goal is? Transformation? What victory are you trying to achieve? The National Democratic Revolution? What a load of gas bag garbage. You have a National Democratic Revolution. You have a democratic society. You have a constitution and a parliamentary government pretending to be a republic. What do you want? You want racial exclusion. You want dispossession. You want bloodshed. That's what they want. That's what they want. We saw the dress rehearsal. Ladies and gentlemen, we've watched this movie, and Bruce Willis wasn't in it. Nope. Neither was Liam Neeson. We saw this movie in July 2021 when Jacob Zuma, the convicted criminal, failed to show up for prison. Remember them attacking the Moon River Toll Plaza? Remember that? 100 trucks torched. For what? To terrorize the public, to send fear into the hearts of the people. 4 radio stations assaulted and their transmitting equipment stolen. Now, what was that for? Probably to keep people from getting the actual news out so they could commit their crimes and terrorize the public. What about the assaults in communities? What about that? We've seen this movie before, folks. And again, Liam Neeson and Bruce Willis weren't in it. The actors were the radical economic transformation faction of the ANC, inside and outside government. And the culprits are at large. We've seen the tweets from Doo-Doo Head. Is that her name? Doo-Doo-Zilla. Yeah, we saw her tweets inciting violence, calling for the overthrow of the government. And that's not an analysis. That's not inferring. That's not divining. That's her words. Just like the lunatics came on my channel last night and said, whoa, going on about, telling me I got something wrong and that Zuma isn't against the Constitution. Excuse me? In his own words, in English and isiZulu, without somebody having prepared a speech, which he coached, he said from his mouth, he spoke, we heard him speak. He said, the Constitution must go. No Roman Dutch law. We must be ruled by African traditional law. Yeah, now they claim that they're not opposed to the Constitution. They just want to steal the land, amend the Constitution to steal people's property. That's what they want. But then Hate Wankers came on the channel last night and said, well, you're making stuff up. I'm not making anything up. That's what he said. Those are his words. It's on the record. It's amazing the stupidity that people try to push and the ignorance by the voting public. It really is so sad. Really is so sad. Hang on a second. Let me go back and see what's going on in the chat here, because you guys are saying some stuff I haven't seen. Okay. Damn it. Nadine Bernard. Oh, jeez, it just crashed again. What the hell is with this computer? No, I don't want. Oh, it's trying to install software. I already installed this software. No. Oh my gosh. It's automatic installing HP software, which I don't want. No. Good Lord. Sorry. Oh, Windows. I gave it no permissions to install anything. I'm saying this Kimberly person must. Oh, okay. Go play in traffic. Okay, I don't. Okay, that person got you. Ronaldo's a decent, humble, kind human being. The Kimberly person needs to take a hike. Agreed. And that's what they fear. Last night we had butternut showerhead Zuma trolls. This is terrible. Please, Ronaldo, I'm not a DA voter. You have to fight them all the way. I know what you do and who you are. Please don't take this lying down. I agree. Liam Neeson and Brad in the Irish movie. Epic monologue. Okay. Let me get back to some of the chat here real quick. Jacques says, if it was Elon Musk would buy an island, move all the whites out of South Africa, let's see who they're going to blame then. Well, they'll still blame whites. So many journalists are appalling at their job, says Gregory. Yep. Paul Boykus, more like progressive cacas. Garrett, Myra Page. And then Ronaldo should sue. I agree. That's what I'm saying. They will not negotiate with help any. Well, that's not what he's saying there. I can't read that. Struggle to get to the trough. What a joke. There are only 4 million plus whites in South Africa. Yep. Says what is right will be wrong. What is wrong is right. I don't know what you're talking about there. Cheryl Barnson says 100%. Thank you very much for that. Yep. I hear that the black middle class is bigger than the entire white population. Surely that is some kind of victory. Apparently not. The revolution must continue. I worked that out. Okay. Quintessential organics. DA joining ANC won't bring in investment from overseas. Banning BE will. ANC and DA together are going to push 2 New World Order agendas. Quintessential optics. I don't disagree with you. The DA, as I've said repeatedly, is not a conservative party. Anybody who thinks a conservative party has not read their manifesto. The fact they use the term manifesto is disturbing, but it's a South African vernacular, so I won't blame the DA for that. Read their manifesto. The DA wants to give more money to people. They want handouts. They want to increase the handouts. That is not conservative. That is people do not rise by being perpetually on state aid. Now, to be fair to the DA, they do talk about phasing out that aid, but we know that'll never happen. Once you give a man a fish, he keeps biting and demanding more, and that's what's happening here. So the DA is a left of center party. This channel is starting to resemble the good old days. It is, Drunken Yoda. I'm saying this Kimberly. Okay, I already read that. Sorry. And okay, I read that. Okay, Debbie says, we care for our country, we're fighting the best we can for change, so our family living abroad can enjoy coming back to visit us too. Yeah, there'll be no burning down. Were you back when Chris got banned? No, Drunken Yoda. Hendo's been with me all along. I think Hendo was joined this channel in the first 3 weeks after I put one of my videos up. It might be a little bit longer back than that. Hendo, you tell the answer, but you've been here, you and Erica have been here since early days. I think you were refugees from the Ballsack channel. Yeah, you were here very early. Paulie was one of the early people here, and there's a few other people around that have been around since the very beginning. Who else? Yeah. Okay, so there you go. All right. Yeah, so Hendo is the man, although we're still getting over his all caps. Hendo's all caps still disturbs us. We can't quite figure that one out. So, folks, I mean, this is just sad, pathetic. So, the Government of National Unity now has 5 members. I mentioned that previously, but that seems to be the only news story the news media wants to run with today. But that's a story that came over the weekend, not today. But let's get to that. So, let's talk about those things. Where are we at here? Come on. Okay, that is not the story I was looking for. Oh, God bless it. My mouse is acting up here now, too. Everything's just not working tonight. Okay. Now has 5 parties. Yeah. So Times Live is a bit late with this. South Africa's new government and national unity, which is a coalition, not a government and national unity, has 5 parties representing more than 2/3 of the seats in the National Assembly, with talks with other parties ongoing. After last month's election, the ANC was forced to forge alliances. ANC leader Ramaphosa was reelected. The ANC said another smaller party, Good, also decided to be part of the GNU. This collective represents 273 seats in the Assembly, or 68%. There you go. So that's where we're at. All right, so the government would ensure representation of government for all participating parties and would make decisions by consensus. That will be interesting. Yep. Now, the EFF has 39 seats, and we know they're not part of this. They are going to call for the impeachment of, or vote of no confidence, not impeachment, but vote of no confidence against Cyril Ramaphosa. Hardly any surprise, and their arguments could be about Pala, and they have a legitimate basis. EFF has a legitimate basis for this vote of no confidence against Ramaphosa. But the DA has said they will not side with voting. And each time that there's been a vote of no confidence against Zuma and against Ramaphosa's cabinet, they have supported it. But they've never supported one against Ramaphosa, to my knowledge. So the EFF will not get the 87 votes from the DA or the 159 from the ANC. Therefore, it's stillborn. This impeach or this vote of no confidence is stillborn and isn't going to happen. So they can call for it all they want, but it's not going to happen. Really sad. Really sad. You know, maybe I should have put a Jacob Zoom in the title because we haven't got any of the trolls here tonight. Anyway, folks, let me digress for a moment, take a little short break and explain something here. So I want to thank everybody on this trip. I've still got over a week, about 10 days left on this trip. And I want to thank everybody along the way, whether it's Carol Sobey from Action SA in the Western Cape, the premier candidate whom I interviewed at the Somerset West polling station, and then followed around through 5 stations in Khayelitsha and a station in Monenberg. So that's what, 5, 6, 7 polling stations? Yeah. So yeah, polling stations. And then actually I did 11 polling stations now that I think about it. Somerset West, 5 in Khayelitsha is 6, Monenberg is 7, Rondebosch is 8, Sea Point is 9, and from Sea Point I went to Woodbridge Primary. Somerset West, 5 in Khayelitsha, that's 6. Monenberg, Rondebosch, Sea Point, that's 9. And then I went from there to Woodbridge Primary, is 10. And from Woodbridge Primary, I went to Parklands, and then Tableview. I went to 12 polling stations on Election Day, folks. Wow, I've been telling everybody 10. I went to 12 polling stations. So all the people I met and the people who recognized me at Woodbridge Primary, at the Parklands, at the Tableview, and also at Sea Point, thank you so much. And I got recognized at Rondebosch, but it's people I know. It wasn't people that just came up and I'd never met. So I don't count that. It's good to see people I know, but it's fascinating to meet people whom I've never met who know who I am. Like when I was in Linwood Bridge yesterday, and the gentleman recognized me from TikTok. He told his son who I was. It was pretty entertaining. So I want to thank everybody along the way, those who've hosted me, Justin and Erica in the Western Cape, here in Gauteng, Maryland, Lindsay. And then where else have I stayed in this trip? Gosh, I'm trying to remember now. It's all a bit of a blur on this trip. Those who've given me super chats, thank you so much for that. That does help defray some of the cost, a little bit of it. So I'm very grateful for that. I know a lot of people don't have the means, and if you don't, please don't super chat. Don't put yourself in a financial bind. I do appreciate it. I do this as a labor of love, and hopefully we reach people, hopefully make a difference, and hopefully convince people to think critically and be part of the solution, not part of the problem. So, yeah, and to the people who recognized me at Loftus, that was really cool. Chris and the others who I met there, and then the gentleman that was Hannes I met outside, and his wife at Loftus Park. That was incredible. Thank you for that. To the people who recognized me at the Cape Town International Airport, it's nice to meet you as well, and so on and so forth, all around the country. And all the people I've met, the interviews I've done so far, the chance to speak at the Reformation Society in Rondebosch, and I'll have another event coming up there. Thank you for that. That is a true privilege, and I'm honored that you give me the opportunity to speak, and for people that are curious and want to listen. So those who came to my meet and greet at the Kapstadt Brauhaus in Blaubergstraat, and the one also in Strand, thank you for that. To Sean and his wife, and to Garrett for coming. Someone else came too, didn't they? Came to the Im Eimer in Somerset West for that one. Those who came to the Betty's Bay, thank you for that. For the viewers who I met in Betty's Bay, I haven't forgot about you either. It has been epic thus far. I'm really grateful. South Africans are wonderful people, great hosts, and amazing people just get to know. Thanks to Sean from the DA in Port Elizabeth, to all the people who came to the meet and greet in Port Elizabeth, and then also the one we did in KZN, and to John Tunge. I'm not forgetting anybody here, folks. There's so many people, so many things have happened. It's just been an absolutely amazing trip. And to imagine this, never in my wildest dreams did I imagine that I'd be able to pull this off because my passport was coming so late. And of course, what I'm talking about pulling off, are people leaving because I'm telling this story? Oh, you just want conflict. That's it. So now we're down from 300 to 263 because people just want to hear misery. But came 12 polling stations, observed the elections, had my ability to talk about that. I've interviewed people of import around the country. Steve Hofmeyer, for the time I spent with you. Thank you for that. And I've been able to stay here and watch the Bulls win the quarterfinal and watch them win the semifinal, and then Glasgow win at Munster, so that the finals at Loftus, changing my plans again. So I come up here once again to the Highveld for that game at Loftus. It's just been epic, unbelievable, truly amazing, and I'm so stoked. I'm so chuffed, as South Africans are saying. It's really been, all these trips are amazing, and if I didn't get a chance to meet with you thus far, my apologies. But the days have been chock full. I mean, one event after another. One day on a Friday, I met with AfriForum, did a broadcast with Ernst van Sel, met a bunch of people from AfriForum. Went from there to have a meeting with Mark Oppenheimer. From Mark Oppenheimer, I had a meeting with Kanthan Pillay. It was just epic that day. It's one thing after another. But that's usually how my trips go. I really have to make the most of my time over here because it costs so much to come over here to do this. It's not like I have a big sponsor that's behind this. So I just want to thank everybody along the way, and those I've still yet to see. Tomorrow, I need to see a whole bunch of people. Let's see, I get in the morning, I've got Roman Kabanak, and then I've got Sean Stewart. Then I'll be meeting the firefighters, hopefully. After the firefighters, then it will be probably in the afternoon or Wednesday. Wednesday, I think it is. It's going to be the Free Market Foundation. The list goes on. David Ansar. So wow, it's epic. I don't know where Nas is at. I've been trying to reach him, but I've had no success, for those who are wondering. And it's been fun liberating signs and cleaning up the streets of South Africa, one place after another. So Tani Pat got liberated today. Yay, free Tani Pat, free Tani Pat, free Tani Pat. So Tani Pat got liberated today. We've also liberated Jacob Zuma and Neil De Beer. No Freedom Front Plus, no DA liberations because their signs mostly suck and they're too high and I can't get to them. But the streets of Pretoria, the streets of Northcliffe and Johannesburg, the streets of Port Elizabeth, the streets of Durban have all been cleaned. Anyway, so there you have it, folks. I don't know if I can get any more, but I'll try. So that's the situation, and let's get back to the news here. So, anyway, what have I missed here? There's some news from overseas. Going to talk a little bit about that now, as soon as the stuff loads. So, Biden, what's this? Biden give legal status to immigrant spouses of citizens. What? This is unbelievable. This criminal Joe Biden is trying something. Now my laptop is freezing again. What is the problem here? Something is eating up all my memory. I must be having... I wonder if... No. I was going to say, I wonder if my VPN is open. It's not. Biden is expected to announce a new program Tuesday that would provide a path to citizenship for hundreds of thousands of criminal alien invaders married to U.S. citizens. That's unacceptable. You violate our sovereignty, you're a criminal. Get the hell out. Simple as that. Simple as that. This is unbelievable. Corporate tax rate spurs political fight with more than $1 trillion at stake. Joe Biden wants to raise the current corporate tax rate from 21 to 28, while Republicans consider further cuts. The rate climb could be as high as 28% if Democrats sweep November's elections and as low as 15% if Republicans gain full power. Well, frankly, the corporate tax rate in America should be 0%. 0%. It is shameful and criminal to tax corporations because corporations then have less resources to pay salaries and benefits to employees, return profit to their shareholders invested in the business so that it exists in the first place. The government gets plenty of taxes from the income from the people who work for the corporation, which is everyone who works there. And they also get plenty of taxes in the form of sales tax in each of the jurisdictions around the country that have sales tax when their products and services are sold. It is shameful beyond belief. The amount of money that the federal government takes in from corporate tax is only a few $100 billion a year in a $7.4 trillion economy. If you eliminate the corporate tax at the federal level altogether, states can impose one. Eliminate it altogether, you will see the U.S. economy surge. You will see great investment in the economy. You will see better pay and benefits for workers. And you will see a return for investors, and everybody wins, except the politicians who want to steal your money. So 15% is not low enough. 0% is low. That's what we want. Yep. So Benjamin Netanyahu has dissolved his war cabinet. Yep. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu dismantled the war cabinet set up to bring in a unified approach to the fight against Hamas, according to U.S. envoy who went to the region. Netanyahu said he was scraping the war cabinet, the small body that was formed at the start of the war, and oversaw top decision-making during a Sunday night security cabinet meeting, said an Israeli official. The decision followed last week's resignation of Benny Gantz, who is now out of it. So dissolving the war cabinet is not really a big deal, although people are making a big deal about it. So we'll see. France's soccer team is tackling the far right. The All Blacks, the beloved French team, the Les Bleus. If you know what I'm talking about, you notice the French team is very African and not very French. But the All Blacks, Les Bleus, are going to attack the far-right Marine Le Pen party. So they've chosen to use the national colors to attack a democratically elected part of the government. This is reprehensible, and should they do this, they should be banned into perpetuity, and the national team should be disbanded. This is not the purpose of a national team. It's akin to Megan Rapinoe taking a knee during the national anthem while wearing the American colors that we paid for, and I fought for, and we shed blood for. She needs to be banned from sport forever, but that will never happen because she's the right persuasion, and that's what I'm talking about. So so France's soccer team says that they're going to get involved because the situation is extremely serious, said forward Marcus Thuram. France is opening a game Monday against Austria's citizens. We have to fight to make sure that the national rally doesn't get through. Well, what I suggest to you interfering piece of socialist slime, is if you want to make a difference, then quit the French national soccer team and run for political office. Otherwise, keep your cake hole shut and do your job. For the All Blacks, Les Bleus, sorry. We are in a crucial moment in the history of our country. We have to have a sense of our priorities. The Euros are very important to our careers, but we're citizens first, and we shouldn't be disconnected from the world around us, said French superstar Kylian Mbappé. Sorry, did you get that right? Mbappé. Kylian Mbappé. It's a very French name. That comes from the Normandy region. Not. Yes, who this month sealed a high-profile move from Paris Saint-Germain to Real Madrid. He said explicitly that he supported his teammates' calls to vote against the far right. Well, they want to use their platform and their uniforms to disgrace the nation by getting involved in politics, and they should footsec. If you can't stand with the French government, then you don't need to be in the All Blacks. Les Bleus, sorry. So confused. The All Blacks, Les Bleus. Anyway, so what have I missed here in the news? The Surgeon General in the United States is calling for warning labels on social media platforms. Dr. Vivek Murthy said he would urge Congress to require a warning that social media use can harm teenagers' mental health. Ladies and gentlemen, demon rat politicians can harm your lifespan and harm your health. Do not vote for demon rat politicians and rhinos. Make them extinct. Yep. Wow. So the Surgeon General says that social media is harmful. Well, so is government propaganda. Probably more harmful than social media. Vladimir Putin will be visiting North Korea because apparently he's running out of ammunition. Ooh, shame, 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 shame. Shame, shame, shame. Poor Vlad going to North Korea. Yes. And the racist Women's National Basketball Association is allowing the physical assault of Caitlin Clark to occur on the court because they're just racist. And they have a problem with a heterosexual white female who's better than virtually everybody in the league. And they deny that, claiming she's not that good, when in fact the statistics bear out that she's one of the best players in the league and having only played a dozen games or so. Yet racists can assault her on the court by punching her in the back of the head, by coming over and knocking her to the ground when the play is dead, and get away with it. They can say the most vile racist garbage because racist lesbians are a protected class in America. Racist lesbians can say what they want and get away with it. It is a disgrace, an unbelievable disgrace. So let's talk about this Angel Reese assault. Yep, Angel Reese assault on Caitlin Clark. If I get my mouse back. Oh my God, this computer is really torquing my shorts tonight. So, Caitlin Clark. Caitlin Clark got clobbered in the head by a flagrant foul by Angel Reese, who was her opponent, of course, in the Women's National NCAA final, not this year, but last year. And she wasn't going to give her arch rival the satisfaction to let anyone know if she might have been bothered by it. Late in the third quarter in Sunday's Fever versus Sky matinee, Clark was driving to the basket and found herself recipient of a forearm to the side of her head. After the Fever closed out a 91-83 victory in which Clark scored 23 points on 7 for 11 shooting, along with 8 rebounds and 9 assists, she was asked what was going through her mind when Reese was called for flagrant foul. And what did she say? What's going through my mind? I need to make these 2 free throws. That's all I'm thinking about. It's just part of basketball. It is what it is. She's trying to make a play on the ball and get the block. It happens. No, that's not what happened. That is not what happened. Angel Reese intentionally, physically struck her. That's assault. It wasn't effort. There was no effort to hit the ball. It was an effort to hit her in the back of the head. And these racist attacks on her just keep coming and keep growing. It's unbelievable. Wow, we are really losing people. What's going on? You guys just want to talk all about South Africa? Let me go back to that. So let me see what's going on over here. That's not what I'm looking for. Come on. God bless it. This mouse is really not working tonight. There we go. All right, that's not what I want. I want to go over here to the other browser. Really hard to do this sometimes. Okay, now that's not working. What's going on there? All right, let me get back to the chat. So, Peter von Breda said, I see there are talks in Canada preparing for civil war in USA. I have no idea what you're talking about. Canada's preparing for civil war. The Canadians ought to prepare for civil war for themselves. They've got some serious problems. Happy belated Father's Day, says Garrett. There you go. At least we know we can count further. Now listen properly. In Kandla. I witnessed today what a celebrity Chris is, being recognized by passers-by and having photos taken. So special, being admired for all you do. Well, thank you, Debbie. Yeah, you did see it. You did see Yaku, and you did see the other Yaku. Just, it was wild. Look, it happens all the time, folks, and I'm really humble. I thank all the people who come up to me. And for anybody who's shy, who's like afraid, is it the Colonel? Don't be shy. I mean, I'm not a superstar celebrity. I'm just a regular Joe who's accomplished a lot and who really cares. And you're welcome to come up and say hi to me. And I love to take photos with folks. It's awesome. Love to share it. It's pretty cool. So yeah, please, if you want to come up and say hello, you're perfectly fine. One-sided boring final. Which one? You talking about the URC? The majority of this country have a free pass, but the minority has to pay for it. So perhaps Ben says some of the conservatives are correct. Ronaldo needs to divorce himself and find his real self at home, says Benjamin. Stay clear of the fire. The boys are in cahoots with the Eric firefighters. Okay. Johan Milan, only teamwork can take this country forward. Agreed, Johan. Is your interview with Sean Stewart live tomorrow? No, James, it probably won't be. If it is, I'll announce it. It'll probably be edited, or it'll be short notice. It'll be in the morning, probably. Nate Fortune says, congrats, Colonel, on your newest conquest in the liberation of campaign posters. We value your service. You're very welcome. Somebody has to clean up South Africa one street at a time, folks. One street at a time. So, all this junk will be in my house when I get home. No, it's a private fire department. It's not a government. Give us frank analysis of the Trump run and how does it compare to the South African situation where the 1% are in charge. Warrior Plus bonus. Okay, that was about 7 minutes ago. If you're still here, pipe in and let me know, and I'll give you that. Okay. Jean-Luc Mélenchon was supposed to more. What's this? I'm not sure what you're talking about there. Science says, I think warning labels on social media is a good idea. I don't. T20, oh, South Africa beat the US? Okay, well, sorry to hear that. Pip says, use the mouse on the leg, not the mouse pad. It's not, I'm wearing shorts, Kortbrücke. There's no leg to put it on. So it's on a table here, actually. So I moved it off, it wasn't on the pad. Now that the circus South Africa election is behind us, what do you think is going to happen in the U.S. circus? Okay, that's twice been asked about that. Do you think the American women will ever get along? It doesn't look good for women's basketball. Black Americans, it's evident that they're quite jealous that she brought so many viewers to. Yeah, they are very jealous. See the petition against Kuban, you're just turning in late. I've been on the air for, how long have I been on the air? For an hour now. We already talked about the story about Ronaldo. It was the breaking news story at the top of the hour. The penis envy, the jealousy of the unsuccessful political left is got their fangs out for Ronaldo, and they're committing libel and slander, and they shouldn't do that. You need to be very careful. So, all right, let me get back to the question here. I don't see if he's still here. I guess Kuban. Okay. Yeah, no, I talked about it. If you go back to the beginning after it's over and watch it, you'll hear me talking a lot about it. Mono Negi says, first time South Africa went T20. They won the 2020 World Cup? They won the World Cup? Jan says, we told you so 30 years ago. I'm not sure what you told people. Okay, so the question was back here. Where'd it go? I was asked, oh, there's, okay. Okay, let me find that question again. Yeah, Warrior Plus bonus. I assume you're still here. Okay, I have you a Ramaphosa poster. An Afrikaans, very rare. I don't have that one. I do have an Afrikaan, a Ramaphosa poster, but not an Afrikaans. I also don't have an ANC poster in Mandarin. I'd like to get one of those. All right, so frank analysis of what's going on in the U.S. political scene. So, assuming that ballot boxes aren't stuffed, that computers aren't changed, and that mail-in balloting is done legitimately, Donald Trump will win a massive electoral landslide. I said electoral. I didn't say popular vote. I said electoral landslide. He will take so many states, it'll make your head spin. Americans love an underdog, and they do not like injustice. When Donald Trump was convicted of a non-criminal act 34 times for a criminal act that doesn't exist by a corrupt New York jury, within 48 hours, his campaign received $200 million. That is a record for any human being on this planet raising political funds, $200 million in 48 hours. The average donation was $20, $30. Let's assume they were $30, which will cut the number of donors. It was probably more like 20, but $30. That means 6.7 million people gave money to Trump within 48 hours. That's a lot of votes. You can guarantee if somebody's giving money to a candidate in that situation, they're going to vote. That's 6.4 million in the bank right there. So Donald Trump has become more and more popular with everybody. The Democrats are trying everything they can to destroy him, with including lawfare against him, bogus charges, bogus judgments, ridiculous financial cost. It's off the charts, and he just keeps ticking a licking and keep on ticking. Donald Trump has become wildly popular in America, even amongst people who did not like him. So within that judgment, within 10 minutes of that thing being aired, in which Jake Tapper went on CNN and went, count one, guilty, felony, count two, guilty, felony, conviction. Within 10 minutes, I received 3 messages from political leftists who watched my program who said that they hate Donald Trump, but it's obvious that this is trying to subvert the will of the people. Therefore, each one of those 3 political leftists said they are holding their nose, but they're voting for Donald Trump in the fall. And he gained 500,000 voters just because of those judgments, if not a few million voters. Americans love an underdog, and they also don't like injustice, and we're seeing injustice of the highest order here. All the man did was run to Washington and try to wash the swamp out. The swamp is at a reaction, and we see how it plays out. Democrats and Republicans have attacked Donald Trump for 6 years, and he's still there. Trump will win an electoral landslide. And for those who say, but he can't serve because he's a convicted felon, it doesn't matter. Convictions have no application in the office of president, vice president, or member of Congress. You can't be barred from office. The people get a say. Your criminal acts doesn't matter. So Donald Trump also will win those on appeal. That was a kangaroo court and a bogus verdict against him. The latest judgment against him, the charges weren't even told to the jury until the closing arguments, which meant that Donald Trump's defense attorneys never had an opportunity to refute the charge against him. They never had an opportunity. So that alone is the basis for an appeal, which any reasonable court should give him, because they presented a case against him after they presented their case, and he had no opportunity to defend himself. It's simple as that. Donald Trump had no opportunity to defend himself because they took an expired state statute for fraud, business fraud, 3 years, statute of limitations. So there are no crimes. Donald Trump is being charged under that statute for crimes that occurred, they claim, 7 or 8 years ago or older. There is no basis for that. It's illegal. That's number one. Number two, they've taken a federal statute from federal election law and they've applied it to a state lawsuit. There is no authority for a state court to try federal law. It's funny when leftist jurisdictions in America tell us they're sanctuary states, they're not going to cooperate with ICE, the Immigration Customs and Enforcement, they're not going to turn over criminal alien invaders who violate our sovereignty and invade our country to the federal government, they're going to give them sanctuary. It's funny how they say that they won't follow federal law then, which they're obliged to do, but then they say they're going to use federal law to prosecute someone which they have no authority to do. Isn't that comical? And they take those two things and they bootstrap an expired statute with a federal statute which they have no jurisdiction over, and then in the closing arguments after they've rested their case, they say Donald Trump committed this offense. Trump has no opportunity to defend himself. He has no chance to bring witnesses, to bring evidence, to make a statement on his own behalf. No chance, because the trial is over. But that's what the instructions the jury were given back into the jury room. This is bogus, and it will be overturned. Donald Trump will be the next president of the United States, or there'll be a civil war. There will be a civil war. All right, what else we got here? I think I answered your question. Is the story about funding to the DA and ANC true by Rupert's? Are you asking if Anton Rupert has funded the DA and ANC? Yes, it's a matter of public record. So has News 24. News 24 has funded both of them as well. It's a matter of public record, folks. I talked about this in my video about the ANC's funding. I don't have those files here because I had them back and I did investigative reporting in the States before I came to South Africa for the election. So go back and watch the video and you can see some of the screenshots of the actual funding. I have the actual database of the amount of funds. But most of the DA's money, or the ANC's money, actually comes from their little investment arms, you know. So anyway. Yep. But yes, both are funded by wealthy South Africans and by the media. Yep. Yes, I've been watching the Rand. It's gotten strong. I noticed that. Chris Marie says, nice to see you all at the meet and greet. Kenya Kwesi getting a mugshot t-shirt. No idea what you're talking about there. Jurgens Roth says, USA going red again. Woohoo. What state are you from? I'm from Maryland, which is not a red state. But I live in Pennsylvania, which is a purple state. I'm wearing a purple jersey from the Reading Royals, the hockey team from Pennsylvania. Yeah, it's red. The country is generally red. Well, my word, no rest. You need a wellness week now. Okay. Dylan Kruger says, excellent card game idea. Treat collecting the voting poster. Okay, I don't know what's going on there. Thank you for coming here, Colonel Chris. Thank you for your works. Thank you for making a difference. Well, I hope I'm making a difference. Perhaps Zoom is trying what Trump is achieving. Your oryx horn cane is now extremely valuable. Ian Smith has died. He must have had one. Thank you for that. Inquisitors, Magnus, Democrats imported 10 million new voters. Yep. G. Sawyer's back. In other words, Helen Zilla says, Paula is irrelevant. Don't trust people's principles, which change. No. See, come on. Okay, G. Sawyer, let's be fair. Again, you know, I'm not a fan of the Democratic Alliance. I do cover them objectively. And the reason the DA is not supporting an impeachment against, not impeachment, a vote of no confidence against Ramaphosa is not because they're ignoring Paula, not because they don't think he committed a crime. No, it's a matter of political expediency. This is what happens in politics. And people, you know, you can't be hard and firm. You have to compromise at times. Otherwise, nothing gets accomplished. If the DA doesn't support Ramaphosa for president, then the DA is not part of the coalition. And then the ANC must turn to MK and the EFF. If you think that's a good solution, I think I'd rather have the DA acquiescing and voting no for vote of no confidence against Ramaphosa than having Ramaphosa have EFF, MK in his cabinet and in his government. I think it's a far worse outcome. So the EFF or the ANC, the DA is just being pragmatic. That's the reality, G. Sawyer. It's just pragmatism, and you can't blame him for that. I mean, if you can, then you're being unfair. Chris wants to visit Anton. I've already visited Anton. He's asked me to see him again. Which Anton are you talking about? It seems natural law is not applicable to Trump. If there are no checks in the balance system, it's open for abuse. Trump has not abused anything. Sanctions and poverty is the news. Why ANC? It's not a price. Oh my gosh, G Sawyer. What? Okay, G Sawyer. What would you have the DA do? Tell me what you would you have the DA vote to vote no confidence against Ramaphosa? So that gives the DA 87. It gives the EFF 39. That's well short of 201 votes they need to exclude. They could probably get 58 from MK. So 87 plus 50, 87, 97, 107, 117, 127, 137, and 8 is 145. Okay. Then 39 to that, 145, 55, 65, 75, and 9 is 184. They're 17 votes short. Where are they going to get them from? Who else is going to vote against Ramaphosa? Action SA, 6 votes. PA, 9 votes. Still not at 201. So what would you have them do, G. Sawyer? I think it's a fair question. Choco, welcome to you. Ian Smith expired. His watering hole is right here. Okay. Yep. Anyway, so there you have it. Yeah, not the same sort of trolls tonight because they're not talking about we're not talking about Jacob Zuma. I will talk about Jacob Zuma again. I will talk about MK, and I'll probably make a video about MK. But let me just check and see if I got a response back. I don't think I have. Okay. Let me see. Anyway. Yeah. Boy. Cannot be monetized. Cannot be monetized. Yeah. YouTube is coming after public domain music left and right. Rhodesia Super, we had t-shirts. Garrett says I have to agree with G. Sawyer, never compromise. And then you'll never solve South Africa. You'll watch the whole thing come crashing down around you. Had the Rhodesian front been willing to compromise in the late 1960s and move forward with what they eventually claimed they wanted to do in 79, then we never would have seen Rhodesia fall. It wouldn't be the country it is today. But Ian Smith and the Rhodesian front were stubborn because they felt they were right. And they underestimated the willingness of China and the Soviet Union to fund and arm ZANU and ZAPU. And the demographics worked against them. Up until 75, more people were coming into Rhodesia than leaving Rhodesia. But after 75, and after the betrayal of Forster in 77, the handwriting was on the wall. When the South African government withdrew the British South African police helicopters and pilots, it crippled the Rhodesian light infantry and others. And it was devastating to them. Their ability to react quickly to attacks in the bush was greatly diminished. They did an amazing job, nonetheless, but they were greatly harmed by it. Yep. So Forster's betrayal, Forster's sanctions, and shutting down South African railways to Rhodesia's economy was devastating. Yep. UDI may have been a good idea, but it did not pan out in the end. How was Monte Cassino? Genre I thought was pretty good. People were complaining about last night. But who is doing the heavy lifting? What heavy lifting? I feel like I'm spamming this children's book thing. Any info on it? Just heard about it. Sorry, I haven't been here in a minute. Drunken Yoda, what are you talking about? It's the first time I've seen you mention a question asking about the children's book. The children's book is by Sandra Hunter. Is it Hunter or Hunter? Who sent it to me. She asked me. It's Mama's Magical Quest. Mama's Magical Quest, and this is Fairies in the Garden. It's a series of books, and she asked me to read it. I could probably play a couple seconds of it for you. I don't know if you'll be able to hear it because it's currently offline, but let me do that. Let me try that. Let me go to my videos. It's hidden because I want her to say it's okay before I publish it for public consumption, but I can play a little bit of it for you. So let me do that. Okay, here we go. You on YouTube. Okay, it has no views because I've hidden it. So here we go.
By Sandra L. Hunt.
Hunt, not Hunter. Sandra Hunt, excuse me.
Mama's Magical Quest. Fairies in the Garden by Sandra L. Hunt. Join me now for an epic tale that comes from South Africa, a land of amazing people. A place you should consider visiting if you're not from there. At the far end of our garden, you'll find a baobab tree. It's unlike any other in all of history. It's about a mile wide, I'd say. Its branches touch the sky. But that's not what makes it special. So listen up and find out why.
And it goes on from there. So, yep. Anyway, so yeah, that's the book. It's a children's book. It's about a 10-minute read. And I used the backdrop of the Fall River behind me with the invasive water species and the birds cackling, hydidas and others making noise the whole time. So that's what the children's book is. She asked me to do it. I'm happy to do it. I've thought about doing, what do they call that when the guys read the audiobooks? I thought about doing that for some time. People have asked me to do it. Well, I was asked to read a specific book, and it was doable. I really want to do it with a good backdrop. I couldn't help some of the background noise. The wildlife is fine. It sounds appealing. It's nice. It gives a nice touch to the video. It took me a little time to find the right transitions with the fade, so it would work perfectly in video. But it is up, and I can't wait to release it. Hopefully, I'll hear from her. If I don't hear from her, I'm just going to release it anyway. But I want to give her a chance to say something first before I do that, because she asked me to do it. So T. Sawyer says, if and when the DA is outmaneuvered in the coalition, can they still blame ANC? The current ANC is a shell of its former self-politicians fighting for the very last 5 minutes of power. I'm not sure what you mean, can they blame the ANC? Of course they can blame the ANC. I mean, Julius Malema is calling the DA a white-led, apartheid party and getting away with it. Same with Fidel Adams, shamefully on his part. And also Al-Jamaa, of course. We expect that from Al-Jamaa. So yeah, people can say whatever they want. The DA can blame whoever they want. The ANC can blame whoever they want. It's a question whether it resonates with the audience. And it does resonate with a lot of people, so keep that in mind. Anyway, last night Zuma's BS left me feeling a bit unsettled, hate and so on. Yep, it is. And then today we see attacks on Ronaldo H. So tonight, maybe I'll talk about that again tonight on the channel. The attacks on Ronaldo. Maybe we'll do a night owl after I eat and catch up and give myself a little break here after this broadcast, and then maybe tonight for night owls later in the evening I'll talk about that. But for those who are curious, so tomorrow interviewing Roman Kavanagh, then Sean Stewart, then firefighters in a private fire company in Santon, if things go well, and then Wednesday I'll meet with the Free Market Foundation before I head back to Cape Town. Back to Cape Town, then I'll be meeting with a noted security specialist and published author in South Africa who's in the media, and I'm looking forward to that on Thursday morning. And then Thursday evening I'll be doing the Rondebosch event, and then Friday is mostly free for me. If you got someone you want me to meet with, mostly free. But Saturday I have to fly to Joburg, come back up here, and then collect my car, drive to Loftus, stay overnight after the game. Hopefully the Bulls win. That would be great. It would be crazy if they win. And then Sunday back to the Cape, and Tuesday it's out of the country. So busy week. So there you have it. So that's what's going on from here on out, in case people are wondering. Why do you think SABC didn't broadcast the Zuma thing last night? Because SABC is controlled by the ANC. They're not an independent broadcasting corporation. They are controlled by the government, and they do what the ANC tells them to do. So that's one of the problems with government-run media. Government controlling media is a dumb idea. Government-run media is a dumb idea. BBC, dumb idea. A very biased outlet. Same thing with the SABC. So that's probably why they didn't run it. So it was difficult for us to broadcast that last night, but we did find it. These are the only live streams where I feel comfortable liking the stream without being there from the start, always on point. Thank you for that, JP Dreckmeyer. Yeah, makes some sense. Thanks, says LS. Okay. Wow, still a full itinerary, busy bee. Yeah, Debbie, it's always, I mean, it's always busy. Yep. And what I want to say to the 225 people still here tonight for this stream, many of you obviously don't come to my streams regularly, or YouTube hides your appearance, because not everybody's commenting in the chat. So thank you to the people who are here, those who came earlier, those who will still come and watch us. Remember, when I head back to the States, I'm still around. I do the news every day, 6 p.m. South Africa time, come rain or shine, unless I'm doing consulting or I'm traveling, or this year I ran for political office and lost, but unless I'm consulting or I am traveling, I do the news faithfully every day of the year, U.S. holidays, international holidays, South African holidays, it doesn't matter, I do the news. Ask my audience. So when people say, we haven't seen you, don't know where to find you, then you're not looking. And I ask you to look. Subscribe to the channel, remember who I am, make a screenshot, and then just, if you don't get notifications, just go there and check it out every day. Because having large live streams with hundreds of people in the stream is much more lekker than us struggling to get 50 or 75 people to show up for the stream. My analysis hasn't gone down, hasn't gone up, it's been consistent. But the number of people watching has been off the charts since we have been on this side this time. My previous 3 trips since the COVID scam was ended, really wasn't much change, but this time we've seen a huge change. I want that momentum to continue once I go back to the States. I don't live in South Africa, so I can't sit here and tunnel in all the time on a VPN. So anyway, thank you for that. Please stick around with us. Robert Franklin Moore's message was retracted. I didn't catch it, Robert. News on Botswana. No news on Botswana, Sedgefield. Rudolph says a quick pop in to say hello and goodbye. Inundated with college projects due this week, including 3,500 word, I assume you mean essay. Yep. I will look even if it does not pop up. So, thank you, PK. Robert Franklin Moore says, who do you... Somebody put it... This is what I hate about this stupid when they put these little hearts in there. I can't read. So there you go. Who do you see as Minister of Police? Well, here's the problem with that. So let me talk about that since you brought that question up. Ramaphosa is going to have to announce his cabinet probably tomorrow, right? Or today. He's going to have to announce his cabinet. He only has a few days to do that, and so he's got to do that. So the cabinet, or maybe it's after his inauguration. So, excuse me. As I've said, this is like Zimbabwe for South Africa, 2008. Once again, when Mugabe refused to leave office after losing. So the DA, in my estimation, my analysis, will likely have demanded finance, public enterprises, justice, and the police. That's probably the 4 that they definitely wanted. But I don't think the ANC is going to give up the security cluster unless they're forced to because of weak position. So if part of bringing Gabe McKenzie to it was he gets a cabinet post, they're going to have to give him something. He wants home affairs. So give it to him. The DA also probably asked for basic education, the one Angela Mocheka destroyed. So they'll probably let him have basic education. That means the Belleville is going to be killed, most likely. And they will give them finance, I'm sure. Public enterprises possibly, so they can save the state-owned enterprises and they can keep stealing from them. But I don't think they're going to give up the security cluster. I'm pretty confident the ANC is terrified of giving the security cluster because they think that the Broderbund is behind every tree. Every tree in this world's largest man-made forest of Johannesburg, apparently there's a Broderbund agent behind it, according to the ANC. That's their fears. So they're terrified of white right extremism, which is basically non-existent in this country. Yes, there will be some of them, but it's not a force to be reckoned with. So I think they will find it very difficult to give up a security cluster. Will only do so if they're forced. So when it comes to the police, I suspect it's going to be an ANC politician or possibly an IFP, but not a DA. And people are talking about Ian Cameron, but Ian Cameron has never been in Parliament. He's brand new to Parliament. Making minister so quickly is a questionable thing. Smart guy. I've interviewed him previously many times, but I don't think that's going to happen. Leon Schreiber is probably a better candidate for it, but the DA is not going to get that in my view. We'll see. I could be wrong, but I don't think they're going to get that. So we'll see what happens there. All right. Home Affairs is part of security cluster. Not really, in my view. Cabinet will be announced after inauguration. I said he's only got a few days. Jackie Smith says, I will follow you when you are back in the States. Pinky promise. Well, thank you, Jackie. I appreciate that. It's very kind of you. Drunken Years, I played poker the other night with a dude that does a seafood joint in South Africa. Fishy things. Obi-Wan Kenobi, I only found you due to the Gareth Cliff show, and your insights and commentaries on point. Where is home for you? Well, Obi-Wan Kenobi, thank you for finding me because Gareth Cliff. I've been on Gareth Cliff 4 or 5 times, but somehow it just doesn't get caught. So that was pretty cool. I got caught on Friday. A lot of people caught me. I've run into a few people off the street said they saw me on Gareth Cliff. In fact, Yaku earlier said he saw me on Gareth Cliff, and I kept popping up in his feed, and probably because he saw me on Gareth Cliff. I live in Pennsylvania, but just for those who are new to the program, I think there's some new people in the stream that are watching right now. I'm a retired U.S. Army colonel. I served in military intelligence, but before that I was a Signal Corps and then Air Defense and the National Guard. I spent 36 and a half years in the Army, which is a highly unusual number of years. Most people finish with 20 if they retire, some with a bit more than that. Usually only generals and sergeants major go beyond 30, but because I was enlisted, my clock restarted when I became an officer, so I was able to go 36 and a half years. 34 of those on active duty. I served 3 tours of duty in Germany, 1 in Italy, and in Africa I was stationed in Tunisia, Liberia, Botswana, Malawi, Niger, Mauritania, Uganda, and Ethiopia, where I worked in the African Union. Ironically, as the senior military advisor to the current U.S. ambassador to South Africa, Reuben Brigady, the man who called out the Lady R situation. And then I'm a published author in academic circles, so I've done academic work, published by Stellenbosch University and also by the U.S. Army War College. I've been published in popular press. I was recently published by Institute for Race Relations' Daily Friend on Election Day. I wrote an article called Friend or Foe? What is the purpose of South Africa's antagonistic foreign policy towards the West? Basically, and that's what it is. You can find that on the Daily Friend. Just look for Wyatt or type in Friend or Foe, and you'll find it. Excuse me. I speak 6 languages to varying degrees of proficiency, 3 fluently. It used to be 4 fluently, but it's 3 now. And my ability to speak Swahili is tailed off a bit. I was private, a sergeant, lieutenant, a captain, all the way up to full colonel, retired as full colonel. Was a military intelligence officer, a tactical intelligence officer, a strategic intelligence officer, a counterintelligence agent, signals intelligence officer, and then also a foreign area officer for Africa. I worked at the National Security Agency running a $3 billion program. I worked at the Defense Intelligence Agency where I wrote for the President of the United States, among other things. And we're losing people as I tell people about my career. Isn't that funny? People always asking, and I tell them, and people disappear. NSA, DIA, U.S. European Command, U.S. Africa Command, the Pentagon, U.S. Army War College, all assignments that I've done. Did multiple combat tours, including the first Gulf War, and in the Balkans, and in Africa. So there you have it. That's a little bit about me. And I hang my hat in Pennsylvania, not because I chose to be there, not because I wanted to be there, but because my last assignment before I retired from active service was at the Army War College, where I was Director of African Studies, and therefore I stuck around. And now we're down to 200, so I guess it's time to stop talking about me, because people just keep leaving. It's great to know what we do have a voice outside our country. Helen, you're welcome. Okay. Curiosity, thoughts on U.S. ambassadors, previous or current, such as Pat. I didn't really say about Patrick Gaspard, but Jendai Frazier, anything really good to say about her. What's Johnny Cochran, what's his name? I can't think of his name right now. He was also our ambassador in Kenya. Good ambassador to South Africa. I think Reuben Brigady's been okay. But it's odd how the White House didn't give him top cover for doing what they told him to do when he spoke out about the Lady R. So that's an odd one. I'm still trying to shake my head over that one, figure out what happened with that. Anyway, so we got 300 likes? 214 likes. Oh, we could have done better than that, folks. Could have done better than that. All right, so I'm hoping to release this book. Maybe we'll find out soon. My goodness, it just keeps coming here. So let me just take a look very quickly here before we wrap up and see what's how many people actually tuned in this thing so far. So we've had 1,300 tune in for this one tonight. This is I normally do my news program at 6 p.m. I've only done this like twice on this trip because I've been so busy. Yep. And anyway, but thank you for that. There might be a night owls tonight. If I still have the energy for it, I'll let you know. Anyway, time for whiskey and brie. You look tired. Do you ever take time off, relax? Helena Minar. Yeah, I do. I try. I try. But, there's so much to do. We only have so much time on this planet and so many things to accomplish. I'm driven to be successful. I'm driven to accomplish things. I'm driven to help others, protect others. That's what my entire life story has been about. I had a horrific childhood, and I don't want other people to go through and suffer the way I did when I was a kid. So I've spent my life trying to make the world a better place. I'd argue that I've achieved that. But not done with that. Now I'm a civilian, and I'm trying to do my best there to do the same. I want people to think cogently, speak cogently, and think critically. And there's just not enough of that in the world. So that's what I'm trying to do. So hopefully it pays off. And I'm also liberating people. Tonight I liberated Tiny Pat and the Good Party. They're free. They're no longer trapped in Northcliffe. Anyway, you gotta have a lighthearted moment now and then. Yes, I am tired. It's been a long day. Did you ever squeeze the trigger? Regret? No. Who's attacking Ronaldo? Leftists hate wankers, Dan. They have put a petition online to have him removed, calling him a racist, using a 15-year-old video in which he didn't say anything racist, and then taking images of him now. And the likes of Herman Mashaba have retweeted that. It's really unfortunate to see that. Really unfortunate to see that. I'm surprised. I wonder if someone else controls Herman's account, because that just kind of caught me off guard. That's how I came across it, because I follow Herman Mashaba. I'd like to hear what he has to say. But I was shocked by that. And so I looked it up, and it's the same regurgitated, edited video that is a lie, attacking Ronaldo. He used some colorful language in the video, but that's his prerogative. And the people who are attacking him for being racist are the actual racists, the way they're behaving. So anyway, they're just attacking him because he's white, and they don't like him. Ronaldo is a leftist, a political leftist, person who believes in kumbaya and his party. So it's just nonsense, Dan. But nonsense wins the order of the day when cowards are afraid to stand up to the terroristic threats of others. We saw the super sport and Nasbota, what happened there. Yep. Saw that coming though, and now he's in Parliament. They're taking advantage and exposing him. Yep. Yeah, well, exactly. Jared, that's what I said. Expect it to happen too. Yeah, I wonder if Tiny Pat knows she's going to Pennsylvania. Yeah, we are in the Twilight Zone. That is exactly right. Biden frees in public because he's an AI bot getting his system updates from Obama. Hey, there's Arctic. Yeah, it is insane. All right, on that note, folks, it's been an hour and a half, and I'm going to take a break here, go get some dinner, and I thank you all for being here. Be sure to hit the like button. We got 221 likes. Thanks for the little bit of super chat revenue that came at the very beginning. That's enough for maybe one energy aid. Thank you for that. Yeah, after YouTube's cut and taxes, it's only a portion of that. But thank you so much. There might be a Night Owls later on. I'm not promising, but I think I might do it. Also might do a prepared video talking about MK tonight. So if you see that, please feel free to go watch it, because the trolls are going to watch it to come attack. And that's it for tonight for the news program. Thanks for tuning in, folks. If I do go tonight with the Night Owls, it'll probably be to discuss Ronaldo. So stay tuned. Could get chippy out there. God bless. Treat each other well. Be safe out there. And get ready for whatever's coming. There's always something around the corner that isn't pleasant. But we find our way in this world. We do the best we can. Take care of our loved ones. And be responsible. Don't take any wood nickels. They don't work. Cheers, everybody. God bless.